Alright, guys. As always, my favorite thing about NCAA football is the recruiting aspect of it. And I kind of got sitting there last night and I was thinking about, looking up some YouTube videos and looking to see if there was any guys that have done anything like this before where it's just straight recruiting. There's been a couple, but, I felt like this was kind of something that would be really, really fun to do. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this thing underway. So, first things first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to redshirt some guys because that's going to affect how we make out our board. And the reason I chose Toledo is I've never really played with Toledo before. So I figured it would be a pretty interesting challenge to go with a team that I've never used before. So, yeah, here we are. So, the thing for me is I always try to give these guys as many years as possible. So that way redshirting freshmen and guys that are behind junior red shirts and senior red shirts to give them a little more time, not making it to where I have to recruit two players at the same position every single class. It just makes for, it gives you a little bit more of like longevity with players. So that's definitely something for me that I like to try to do there. So, like this right here is a good example. That's another great example. The idea is you're giving yourself as many years as possible with these guys so that you're not recruiting two guys in the same year or, for the same position. Righty, and we're good there. So this also gives me an idea, doing my redshirting first, about what guys that I need to go after, what positions I'm thin at. Helps kind of get a better idea of what you have on your team going into it. So the other part about this too is that I'm a big whale hunter. I go for the best recruits possible. I'm able to recruit unlike a lot of other people are, just because of the way that I'm able to scout guys, and I'm able to go through and I'm able to find guys that are kind of not being recruited by big time programs. Because what you got to think of is that with the points that you're allowed to allocate, you got 700 points on at the max level, basically. And that's the one thing I always like to try to think of it as is, if I'm recruiting at someone with 700 points, am I going to be able to get this guy or not? So the thing is that if you think about it like that, and you have 700 points, and you're still gaining ground, and you're still getting, moving up the ladder, either one of two things is happening. Because you got to think they can only recruit about 8 guys with 700 points, 8 or 9 guys with 700 points. So it's 9, 9 guys with 700 points. So every guy, and then you're going to have multiple schools recruiting the same guy with 700 points. So there's going to be a lot of players that are still out there that they're not going after all at the same time. So it frees up and makes some guys that are really, really good available for you to get a huge lead on and get recruiting and lock other schools out before they even, lose out on those battles with other guys and then have to, resort back to, going to the next option for them. Their second option needs to be your first option. And if you can do that and find those guys in the right places, then you can definitely get really, really good recruiting classes year in and year out. The other thing that you got to utilize is these guys that are within the proximity. You want to use your pitches, and your pitch strength the best possible way you can, which is finding those guys, again, that may not be a lot of these schools' first option, and recruiting them ahead of other schools, and making sure you got your pitches lined out to where you're going to be able to compete with those smaller schools and make a difference early. So this may be my guy right here at quarterback. I may be recruiting the number 8 quarterback right now, but that will change. And looking at this, Grove, Oklahoma. has Tulsa and Oklahoma State and Baylor as their number one schools. I feel comfortable going after them. That's just me. Got the number 2 running back in the country, considering Tulsa as well, from La Plaza, Louisiana. So that's interesting. Anyway, you got to have the right guys that have the right, basically importances that you're recruiting for. So all of that, along with making sure that you're getting these guys that are, kind of under the radar players, works out pretty good for you. So all these 5-star guys, this is a guy that I could probably snake out from underneath Louisville, maybe. That would be a huge get for me, but we'll see. Playing style is very important. Obviously playing time is very important to these guys because they know that they can come right on in and play. There's a lot of 5-star wide receivers in this class. I've got 2 that's probably good for one class. Defensive tackles, Wooster, Ohio. Another thing I'm looking at here with these guys is who I'm recruiting against and how I can stack up and what my possibilities are. Because if I'm going up against blue blood programs, it's going to be extremely tough. Let's see here. That could be one. I'm going to go after him. That's probably not going to be one, though, long term. I'm going to go after him. Going for it. I'm going to try it, but I'm not going to get them. Number 1 and number 3 is kind of a stretch in your first year. That is tough. Might be skipping out on the free safety this year. That's good. Punter. Just because I like going after the number 1 punter, I'm going after the number 1 punter. See the kind of players that I'm have a good shot at getting just off the cuff. This could be a good one. So I'm going to go with 17 guys in my initial recruiting class, unless I can use up some more points when I'm scouting these guys. And, of course, then there's going to be guys that obviously are going to move down. We'll take some of them off of our board. But right now we're just fact-finding. I'm not going to take a 63 defensive tackle. So I'm pretty deep at defensive tackle, so I'm not taking unless I absolutely need there. Let's see here. That punter is really good. Okay, so far, we're in good shape. Our worst guy on our board is the 71 running back, which that's not so bad. It's kind of respectable. What I am going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to grab a couple guys like this who I know I have a really, really great shot at, and hope that maybe we can turn one of them into a gem, basically. So that's a no. That's a no. So I found a center, which he's not great, but he's also not bad. And now I'm going to go get my food ready real quick. Alrighty. And now we're going to go to custom schedules. And obviously, I'm not really playing these games the first year, so I'm going to make them a little bit easier opponents just because, I want to make sure that we have a good first year. But also don't want to be playing these FCS schools because that's garbage. Where are you at? He's not very good. So another thing I'm going to do here, so I'm going to move some of these games later on this season because I want to be able to have guys out for visits. So Idaho's not very good either, so I'm going to play them. So now I've given myself a lot of places where I can have guys come and, come on recruit visits, basically. It's not an overly tough schedule. It's a schedule I should do pretty good with, and I have a lot of faith that we'll have a pretty good first season. Where it's going to give us 2 weeks to recruit guys and figure out what their interest level with us is, who is recruiting who, and make the adjustments on our board so that around week 3, we're going to have a pretty solid idea about who we're going after, and then by week 5, we'll have our recruiting board solidly in place and ready to go. So alrighty. and let the regular season recruiting begin. Man, this is the fun part right here. We're going to lose a lot of guys initially. And that's the key thing, is that we want to sort out the guys that we can get from the guys that we probably don't really have a shot with. So, I'm going ahead and I'm going after just the best players initially. That's going to change, obviously, as the weeks go on. Be a little bit more strategic with my points. But I don't know how to do that yet because I don't know which way that this recruiting class is going to kind of ebb and flow. So we'll know a little more after the first week. We'll see who it is that we can keep recruiting and who it is that we cannot keep going after. Playing early gives you an opportunity to set your playing style a little early, which in often cases can help with recruiting, but you can have more commitments by moving your games till the later part of the season, because at that point what you're doing basically is you're giving yourself an opportunity later in the season to host a visit, and that's going to be 95% of the time when you're going to get your commitments from recruits is when they come on their visit and then they recruit. I mean, they commit. So it's a little bit of a risk initially, but it will pay off in the long run. And as you can see, we lose already a wide receiver to Alabama, one of the top receivers in the country to Alabama, and now we will have to reallocate some points. The other thing we're going to be checking on this week is who it is that's, really realistically going to be a guy that we could recruit. We're going to see which way we're trending with some guys. As you can see right now, we're trending up for this linebacker. We're trending up for a wide receiver, down for a running back, but not too terribly. Again, a key thing with his recruitment is the playing style. We haven't been able to play, so of course our play style is not going to be to his liking yet. So we'll hold on to him for just a couple more weeks just to see how he kind of rolls through. Going up for the best punter in the country, we can probably get in on this guy because it doesn't look like anybody's recruiting him. He didn't have our full points last week, and that looks like that could make a difference. We don't want him on our board. We're going pretty good with this corner, going pretty good here, and going pretty good. So now we've got 150 points. We're looking for a guy that we can put these on that will, like a quarterback right there, boom. So making some adjustments here, and we'll advance to the next week and see how it goes there. Alrighty. Just tracking these guys a little bit further here. So, still moving in the right direction with a lot of these guys. All good, not good. So we're going to take him off. I'm going to get my food. Moving him up there. Ooh, they filled my board with a bunch of uglies. So this is going to be the other thing too, and I didn't even think about this, but we got to turn all this crap off because we don't want the computer messing it up for us. And we're going to advance. Ooh, well, let's see. I got to get my food. All right. So we got 100 points left. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give it to this strong safety. And then we're going to advance another week. We'll have another 150 points we can give to them. So that's a big get there. And we're going to go to week 3 with you, AB. So no eventfulness after that week. Getting back into it. Here we go. Okay. So we play against UAB this week. And we still got some recruiting stuff we got to clean up. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. As you can see, we're still actually making a little bit of headway there with this guy. Moving in the right direction. We've actually taken the lead on an outside linebacker, and he is the number 11 in the country outside linebacker. Still moving up for this corner. Still moving up for the athlete. Still moving up for this corner, and we're still moving up for the quarterback. Made a huge leap last week with the quarterback, and we have an in-conference rival that we're going for against for him. So, the other thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to clean this crap up, because I'm not going to chase after guys that are not going to be on my team. And I'm not going to take guys that are under a 68. That's key for me. I'll sometimes take a 67 if it's at a position that I really, really need, but I will never, ever take someone under a 68. So, that's because I have standards. Normally, I don't even like to take guys that are under a 73, but, again, certain circumstances call for certain measures, and that is why that we are removing these guys off of here. It's because I'm not quite there yet. This is year one. Still got a ton of guys from the previous coach, so I don't need to be desperate. I've got a bunch of guys I've redshirted, so we'll just kind of go from there. Playing against UAB should be an easy win. Should be. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sim this week. And boom, barely escaped out of UAB, a team that we should have dominated with a 3-point win. That is disappointing. But we win, and that's the important part. Alrighty, we'll see what we got here. Hopefully now we'll have some guys ready to visit. There it is. So, we've got the number 1 punter, a wide receiver, and a defensive back. It's a pretty good start. Going into week 4, and we've got some visits that we can go ahead and set now. Alrighty. So it looks like it's the number 4 wide receiver in the country, who we're going to set for week 6. We've got the number 1 punter. We're also going to set for week 6. And the number 1 cornerback in the country, who we will set for week 10. But we're going to be way behind at that point. Another team we should beat, but we'll see. So we get another close win against Central Michigan. And we improved to 2-0 on the season. Heck yeah, brother. So we're sitting at 2-0. Now we're going into a game against Ball State in which we are recruiting the same quarterback. So this could be a big game for us. Especially if his visit becomes available afterwards. Or, I mean, really. If we can get him on a visit. Boom. So we get some outside linebackers that we can now bring him for a visit. Unfortunately, they're all 3 outside linebackers. But they're all good enough. I can move one to the right side. I can move one to the middle if need be. If my recruiting goes south on the middle linebacker. So, it's a very strategic thing that we've got to do here. First things first, I want to make sure that we're still improving every single week. Get the best one in first. Get the second one in second. Get this guy in real quick. Boom. So, here we go. So I've officially missed on this guy, which sucks because I was making a lot of ground up, doing pretty good. So now we're going to go and we're going to try to find another running back, take his place. And boom, right here, a 5-star guy from Springfield, Virginia. It's going to be tough, but we could probably get him. He's just not going to be very fast. So that kind of sucks. We're going to scout him, though. Oof, 83 speed. He's very slow. But he's one of the top running backs in the country, so we're going to go after him. Jesus. Okay. At Ball State, it's going to be a little bit tougher. Ball State's pretty good compared to us. So it's not going to be a gimme, but let's see how we do. And we win another 7-point game against Ball State. Man. There it is. All right, so we're sitting at 3-0 going into week 6, which is pretty good. Winning always helps when you're recruiting, so. So we got some coach updates, level updates. And we've got our quarterback who's ready to visit now after we beat the team that was also recruiting him. So that could be big. We can get him in on a visit as well. We're going to go ahead and use some of these coaching level updates. And here we go. And we're going to go to recruiting now, and we're going to try to move some stuff around here. We'll see what we can't get wrong. Still getting better. Still getting better. Whew. Okay. He just had his visit to Arkansas, so that's why that we are not in first right now, but we've got our visit this week. And there's a really good opportunity that we could probably get him to where he's ready to make a commitment. So we'll just wait and see there. Still improving, still improving. I mean, just lights out with this guy right here. He's 100% with us. He's in the boat, basically, after next week. So we'll keep his points where they are. I'm going to go ahead and put those there. And our running back is really, really liking Toledo right now. So I expect we get 1 or 2 commitments. 3 could be a surprise, but I'm going with 1 or 2 solid. We'll be able to get them and get them on board. And we play against Western Michigan this week, who we are supposed to be better than. Ideally, we win this game, but you never know when you're simulating. So we'll just wait and see what happens here. And we get another close win, 3 points against Western Michigan with the recruits in town, and we'll see what that means for us. Like I said, I feel pretty solid about 1 or 2, but we'll see kind of where it's at. Oh my goodness gracious! These guys are scaring me, man. Early on, we're 4-0, but we could easily be 0-4. So. So, we don't get a commitment this week, which was kind of shocking to me. Oh well. We still are going to have a lot of guys in position to commit, and we've got a couple guys this week that I feel pretty confident about. One of those being that outside linebacker who really, really, really likes us. So, 300 points are now available. Big lead on this guy. Notre Dame's not going to be able to do much. It's just between us and Penn State. If I can get them outside of that 1469 before next week, that would go a long way in helping us get them. Yeah. Hopefully we can keep improving and keep gaining points. And I think that we've effectively locked this guy in here. I mean, there's really no way. I don't think that Arkansas is going to stay in it. Got him coming this week. Tennessee's really our big one. Louisville, I think that we can probably push them out maybe. And then Good grief. There's a lot of guys still in for this guy. Everyone's going in on him. So there you go. That is the lay of the land. We're not going to be able to get this guy. He locked us out, which is really a bummer. I'm going to go ahead and have him visit this week. That'll be a commit. It's pretty easy to get. Can't go after him anymore. Can't go after him anymore. Done. Done. So I've got 9 guys that I'm recruiting right now, basically. I've got to find another one. But I just really, okay, maybe a tight end. Get a really good tight end. So I don't really like to use tight ends all that much, but when I do use them, it's usually a pretty big home run hit. Just because I don't use them a lot. So they become open a lot in my passing game. So we've got Idaho, should be a really easy win, and we will see what comes of us. Easy win against Idaho, as expected, which means we could see ourselves getting our first couple of commits in this recruiting cycle. So we got New Mexico State next week, and we can become bowl eligible. And we get another coach level update, and there it is. We get the quarterback, we get the outside linebacker, and we get another QB. We get the QB corner, and bam, got 3 4-stars in 1 week, just like that, big time. How about you come on back? Oh goodness. So we're 5-0. We're a game away from becoming bowl eligible. We're recruiting fairly well, if I may say so myself. Oh, Pitt trying to come in and ruin the party. So is Mississippi State on this guy. Oof, all these guys. Dang it. Okay, so it's going to be a tough one. Alright. Now it's time for us to go and find some more guys to add onto our recruiting board. So, just going straight down. These are guys that are not being recruited actively. This guy's probably going to end up being a quarterback. Or not. Okay, so I'm going to get him. I don't know what. Maybe he's a wide receiver. But that would still be a huge get for us. Really like to get some guys on the defensive line or front. I already got a quarterback, so I'm good there. Strong safety. That's one. That's a position I need. I already got a quarterback. I'm just looking for these guys with no lock, basically. He's going to be a quarterback. Yeah, no. Man. What is this guy? Carrying? He's probably a running back. No? What in the world? Probably a wide receiver. I don't know. That dude's probably going to be a bust. Here's a not a running back. There's no way that guy's a running back. He's 6'7", 225 pounds. Might be it. Might be a linebacker. I don't know. I'm gonna add him, but I'm probably not gonna give him points. Defensive end. That's what I need right here. Boom, brethren. Giving myself options basically of who I'm gonna, because I'm gonna scout all these guys first, and then if they're not up to snuff, then we're just not even gonna go after them. How many times do you see a punter outside the, like, just right outside the top 300? Good grief. Okay. We've got ourselves some projects here, so let's see who's going to stick around and who is not going to make the cut. Interesting. So we're just going to readjust this, and I think we know our guys that we're going after now. Oh, gosh, this is close. We're sacrificing some points for the greater good here, but just on guys that we know that we're pretty good with, and that running back we're good with. Okay, so let's reallocate some coach points and advance the week again. So there we go. We can become bowl eligible with a win today against New Mexico State. So we'll see what happens there. And we get a big win against New Mexico State. Huge. Gotta love it. Should possibly maybe open up some visits. Possibly. This week, I'm hoping. We'll see how that goes. But as of right now, we're 6-0. We're bowl eligible. We've got 3 4-star recruits in the boat. We've got some promising guys that are going to be coming on along with them. So we will see how that goes. We got Bowling Green State next week. Conference game at Bowling Green. All right, so no visits opened up, but we're still in the hunt for those guys that were listed right there. And we're going to get some more points allocated to a couple guys. So we got a bunch of good stuff happening here at Toledo. All right. Ooh, bad news there. Notre Dame takes the lead for our top outside linebacker prospect. That hurts. But, as you can see with everybody else, a lot of positive movement. Lots of positive movement. So, I'm going to take some points from him. I'm going to offer this guy a scholarship just to try to keep us in it. But as you can see, we've got 3 guys worth our while. And in the recruiting class rankings that we have right now, Toledo is currently ranked number 21 in the country, just behind Alabama. So, not the only group of 5 team that is up in the top 25. As you can see, there is Rice is up in the top 25. Boise State. We got Notre Dame is, of course, not affiliated with a conference. We've got Hawaii, and that is at number 18. Toledo, number 21. San Diego State, number 22. Fresno State, number 24. And the American Conference's TCU Horned Frogs at number 25. So, a lot of little guys getting in on the action early. Pretty big stuff. Bowling Green is 3-4. It's not a team that should beat us, but a team that definitely can. And we get a big win at Bowling Green. Hoping, praying, maybe some of these guys will finally let us schedule them for a visit. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe a top running back prospect that absolutely loves us because we're the only school showing him love right now. That would be pretty cool. He's slow as hell, but he is very talented. So we'll see how that goes. We got Eastern Michigan this week. We are 7-0. We have not lost a game yet. We're still in it. We're still rolling. We're untouched. We've got a really easy schedule. We're still winning. The Toledo Rockets. Yeah, baby. Still nobody willing to come and visit. It's breaking my dang heart. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is happening? Alrighty. So we're going to check up on everybody, see how they're doing, and decide where to go. I mean, I think it's pretty good. We can write this guy off at this point. As for this fella, we're back to number 1 here. Question is, can we keep it there? Still leading with him. So. Oh, gosh. I mean, just really, really good recruiting being done in this part right here. I'm going to take him down to 500. positive movements all the way around, except for this cat, who is now going to hopefully be picking it up and committing, hopefully, along with these other fellas. But as you can see, we've made a lot of headway. We're getting a lot of attention from top recruits right now. We just got to keep plugging away. So, key thing for us is just finishing at this point. I've got to find a guy for the center of my defense, but I just don't have any options right now. That guy's a bust. Everybody underneath him is going to be worse, so no thanks. I've got one outside linebacker. I can recruit him to try and see what he's got, but let's see here. Not really in the way of defensive tackles or defensive ends. Let's see what he's got. Nothing really going on over here. Guards, not a lot. It's very difficult to recruit good offensive linemen this late in the year. It's kind of something you got to start. It's a project you start at the beginning of the season, but we didn't do that this year because of the depth that we have on the offensive line. So, probably going to pay for that, but I think we'll get by. Wide receivers, just not anything worth jumping at. Currently going after the number 6 running back, of course. And a couple other guys that would be interesting. Well, I'll add them on the list, but I don't know. These are going to be guys we're going to have to start recruiting maybe next week, but, we'll see who can get out of the dumps here and maybe make themselves look like they are worth our time. Nobody really, but we'll see. We'll see. So, we're going to go ahead, see if we can't beat Eastern Michigan, who, again, is a team that is very beatable, but isn't always the case in how that works out. And we shut out Eastern Michigan 34-0. Also, inside the top 25 this week at number 24. The Rockets are rolling. Okay, so we improved to 8-0 on the season. Rolling into week 11 against Georgia State, who again is another beatable team. And we get another coach level update. How about that one? we've got a lot of guys that are very interested. We're just not getting a whole lot of guys that are committing and making themselves available for visits. But we are on the precipice of a huge recruiting class right now. Up to number 19 in the polls now, Toledo. Getting close on a couple of these guys. Just gotta get it going. Just crawling our way along, trying to get into it. Let's check up on these other guys, see how they're doing. I think Illinois is in it. Now they're way out of it. Vanderbilt is still in it. And of course Louisville. Sitting back there, very, very close. We made it past Penn State's visit, but still ahead. I mean, we just really want to push them out, but it's going to be difficult by the time the Week 14 rolls around. Oh, gosh. All kinds of ready, just not pulling the trigger on the visit yet. Same with this guy. That number 21 class a few weeks ago is now a number 41 class, and we've got a lot of guys. I'm telling you, a lot of guys, and when they commit, that class is going to shoot straight up into a top 10 class. We're sitting on it. We're right there, but it's just right now we're not getting any traction with these guys. They're have us way out in front of any of the other schools that they're interested in, but none of those schools are showing mutual interest in them. And it's just a waiting game now of who is it that's going to go ahead and make that move. And, I mean, we're just, like I said, just sitting here waiting. So we just need it to happen. Georgia State this week, an awesome opportunity to get to 9-0 on the season. And, I mean, just needing one or two of those guys to just come on a visit. Georgia State is not a good team. They're 1-7 D overall. They shouldn't be in the same stadium as us. So, just got to get a win. Boom, 35-3, and we are 9-0. Inside the top 20, 9-0. We've got a bunch of really interested guys that are just not getting any interest from any other schools. And then top recruits in the country, it's just like, man, just come on a visit. You know Toledo is home. I just need it to happen. I'm just waiting. There's no reason that these guys should be putting me off like this, but they are. I'm right in the thick of my visit schedule where I've got these games, bang, 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 that are all going to be home games right in a row, and I can't get any of them to come on campus, and it's getting me frustrated. It just needs to happen at this point, but we'll see how that goes. Oh, gosh. Still can't get one of these guys to come on campus. Good grief. Huge recruiting leads on some of these guys, too, by the way. And they just aren't interested in coming on a visit yet. And it's killing me. It's killing me inside. Good grief. Freaking Northwestern coming out of left field here. Good grief. And Pitt takes over on the number one recruit in the country. I mean, number one punter in the country. Jesus. Just, they unlocked him, and now they're back in it. Crap. And Arizona State goes ahead and puts him in for a visit. Oh, Jesus. I feel sick to my stomach. Good grief. Just like these guys right here. That's who I'm talking about. Boom, 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 boom. just teasing me. Teasing me so bad. I just want you guys to come and see me. Come on. And now the number 6 running back in the country is starting to get some interest from other schools. Oh, my gosh. This is frustrating. I've got to make sure that I haven't cut his points down too much that they're going to be able to come back into it. Yeah, because they're 400 points, man. I mean, just, God, it's so frustrating. Gosh. Let me in. We've got Buffalo, who's actually a pretty solid team, who could ruin this whole thing by beating me. They're +7 in turnover differential. +7. You can see here we beat Ball State overtime. I didn't even realize that it was overtime. The last 5 games have been pretty comfortable. But it's been against our worst competition that we played all year. The best teams that we played against, Central Michigan, Ball State, and Western Michigan, all pushed us the whole way through the game. And now we play against the 2 best teams in the conference besides us back-to-back weeks. This could get unraveled so quick if we don't beat Buffalo. And we lose by 3 to Buffalo. Number 13 team in the country falls. Jesus. That is frustrating. Oh, goodness. So we're probably going to fall out of the top 25 along with that. Who knows the recruiting impact that will have on us. Probably not a good one. And, we're going to fall to 9-1 on the year. Plain and simple. Pretty frustrating. I'm seeing a bunch of guys getting commitments from recruits. I would love to get some commitments from my recruits, who, by the way, losing to Buffalo is not going to help that case at all. And a conference loss at that, which could hurt our chances of getting into the conference championship game, which is a huge need for us to do, because conference championships are important, people. So we're just going to have to hope and pray now. And we've finally got 4 guys that are ready to come on for a visit, and I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. But it's going to be against Northern Illinois, who's a pretty solid team that could beat us. So that's pretty frustrating as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we only fell back 4 spots to number 17. There must have been absolute chaos in the rankings for that to happen. I'm about to go look at that here in a minute once I get some of these visits scheduled, because I'm freaking anxious right now to get these guys committed. My gosh. Thank you so very much. Okay. So my guys may not be lonely too long, as we are going to have visits this week. 4 big ones, and I'm really excited about it. We also get a head coach recruiting update, level advancement, or whatever you want to call it. So that's huge. Boom. So we have most of our recruiting skills all unlocked now. Yay. And why in the world did we only drop 4 spots? Let's take a look. Well, Mississippi State lost. Purdue lost. Looks like that Michigan lost. Oregon lost. Oh, my. Florida lost. We had a couple teams lose last week. USC lost. A lot of big losses. But the big one for us is the conference standings. And we are now tied with the Western Michigan Broncos in the Mid-American Conference. But we have the head-to-head win against them. They they beat Buffalo, who's the team that beat us, who's not in our division either, might I add. And then Northern Illinois is in there. So if Northern Illinois beats me this week, it would come down to their game next week to see who would represent our side of the conference in the Mid-American Conference Championship game. Let's go look at this, though. The championship contender rankings. Drastically improving, but we don't know where we started at because I didn't look at that. I've kind of forgotten, but oh well. Anyway, got to win this game. Got a lot of big recruits visiting this week. This would be a huge win for us, keep us alive in the conference championship chase, and we lost. So, don't got to worry about the conference championship this year. We're 9-2. That will surely bump us out of the top 25. I don't see how losing 2 games in a row to Mid-American Conference opponents is going to keep us in the top 25. So, that hurts emotionally and physically and quite possibly in recruiting as well, which is the most important emotion of all. Man. And knowing I could have played that game and won easily. But I'm too stubborn, and I'm just recruiting in this for at least 3 years before I start playing. Well, maybe 2. No, yeah, I'm going to recruit. Yeah, well, maybe 3 years. Well, yeah, 2 years, 2 years. I'll wait 2 years. So I'm gonna recruit the first 2 years, and then I'll play. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But 9-2, and we've got Akron next week at Akron. And we don't get any commitments, as you could suspect, as we lost our game that we had guys to visit for. So now all we've got is just a bunch of guys who are going to go to off-season recruiting and not commit unless we give them the correct amount of points, which is just heartbreaking. But I'm going to get by it. Anyway, points that we need to get these guys that we're in close battles with other schools. We cannot do it because of all this crap. So, finally get this guy to visit, though, but it's going to be during a bye week, so that's unimportant. Jesus. Second, first, third now. Just losing our grip on a lot of these guys. These guys just got to freaking pull the trigger, dude. Look at this. 4,500 points from the next team. 4,700 points from the next team. Okay, that's kind of close. That is too. But you get the point. Oh, gosh, I'm just disgusted. Anyway, at this point, if we go 10-2 or 9-3, it really doesn't matter. We're not going to the conference championship game. Heartbreaker. Unless, did Western Michigan lose? They didn't. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to the conference championship game. Oh, that hurts. Anyways. So we'll just go ahead and get this plugged all the way through. And we win our last game and we go 10-2. So we get 10 wins in our first year as a head coach. We're in the top 25. Yep. But next year, I'm very wary because I do have a lot of guys redshirted. There is definitely reason to have some promise and some, some hope for next year. But for me, it's the fact that we have so many guys that are just sitting and not committing right now. It's making me anxious because we don't want that many guys to go to off-season recruiting, especially when we don't have a 4,000 point lead on a lot of those guys, and a lot of guys that you want those guys to commit, and then you want to use those guys that you're in tight battles with to use your off-season points on. And bam, Kyle Wesley and Eric Alvarez trying to make me smile. That's two four-star recruits again. We're up to 5 in the class, but boy, this class could be a lot better if we could just get some movement on these 5 stars. Prima donnas. Want to talk about Rat Poison? 5 stars, listen to Rat Poison. All right, anyway. Here we are. Ooh, man, that's... What position will he be, though? He's looking like he could be a defensive back, maybe a safety, possibly a corner. That's a big get, just sitting out there waiting. A guy that we could easily have. Should have already freaking committed, but he didn't. Same with him. Now Florida State going all in on him. All right. So we're going to go ahead and reassign these coach points. And I am very frustrated with the fact that we did not get these guys to commit. Easy. Should have been done. I'm just very frustrated in the fact that we didn't get those guys committed when it should have been done. So, anyway. We got 5 commitments, all really good ones, though. Guys that are going to help for next year. And, yeah. So, we're number 20 in the country right now. That's a big thing for us. So, it's good. It's good. We're 10-2, number 20 in the country. We're not playing in a conference championship. That hurts my feelings. But we are getting a lot of very, very good things happening, which is a very positive sign. Yeah. The next question is, are these guys going to stick around through a redshirt year? That, my friends, is going to be a huge, huge question. I'm very interested in seeing, because if they do, my team's going to be very good. And we get another big wide receiver commit from Will Smith. So that's our second big wide receiver commitment. And a 5-star wide receiver. Look out, Mid-American Conference defensive backfields because you're about to get torched by Toledo. Big time, buddy. Big time. Huge. Going in with 6 is a lot better than going in with 5, and a top 20 class at that with just 6 guys. A quarterback, we get 2 wide receivers, we've got a strong safety and a corner and an outside linebacker who all will make big impacts if they actually do come through to Toledo. And on top of that, Toledo up to number 15 in the polls. How about you come on back? Or number 18, excuse me. I can't read. Can't play Conference Championship, unfortunately, because it looks like the teams that will be playing is Western Michigan and Buffalo, the team that wrecked my world. Wow. Heartbreaker. The one loss they had was to Western Michigan, a team that I beat. How about it? Doesn't that just taste good? A little punch right in the gut. Good grief. So we're going to the bowl season, sitting at 10-2, number 18 in the country, and it looks like we're going to the Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl. Just makes me happy inside. What a great bowl game, said no one ever. And I'm pretty sure that I'm number 3 in my conference right now, too, or number 4, behind 2 teams that beat me. 2. Ugh. 2 teams that beat me, 1 team that I beat. So holy crap, I'm 4th. I might be 4th in my conference. That is disgusting. I protest, Presley. I am very upset. Props to Western Michigan for not giving up after losing to me, though. And we're playing at the Pitt in the Military Bowl. Yay! Yeah. There it is. And I'm actually, looks like, even better than what Pitt is, even though I got moved back 3 spots because the pollsters are absolute jerks. 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard running back, and a 3,000-yard passing quarterback. How about it? Back-to-back losses. A 3-point loss and a 17-point loss. Pitt got blown out against Florida State. 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row, 2 in a row, lost 1, 1, and lost their last one. Rough. But we'll see how this bowl game goes. Probably is going to be a loss for us, but, you know, you got to expect that when you play against a good team like Pitt, especially with a bad, watered-down roster due to redshirting. Where's your ball, Presley? Wow, I actually beat the ever-living crap out of Pitt in my bowl game, and I'm going to be 11-2 this year. So that's pretty positive, I would have to say. It's definitely not the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Jesus Christ. Wow. 34-point win. 34 points that I beat Pitt by in that bowl game. Which is a Power 5 opponent that we beat too, which is huge. An ACC foe that could not hang with Toledo. The Rockets, man. And another head coaching update. Probably, in my opinion, we should have played for the conference championship game. But, you know, just how football goes sometimes, man. Best team doesn't always win. We get 2 skill points for our coach, man. That's big time. None for our coordinators, though. And we'll see what waits for us on the coaching carousel. So there you go. We'll look at the championship contender ratings that we have and see how much we've improved. So, a lot. We were at 64 for 2016. And now we're down to 39 because I'm a masterful recruiter. We finished the season ranked number 16 in the country. So that's a good little positive as well. Alrighty. And as you can see, we've got some big recruiting battles that we're still in. I mean, a big improvement still from the previous years when Matt Campbell was here. A step in the right direction, some would call it. So my first offer is Central Michigan head coach, which is a lateral movement to the left, and I don't want that, so we are going to go to players leaving. Players leaving. Let's see what we got here. And players leaving. Just one guy getting drafted, which is still big. An Oklahoma guy. OK Prep guy. How about that? And boom, we got a really good offensive coordinator, it seems. Nick Macklin and James Diggs are now our offensive and defensive coordinators. Nick Macklin, a huge get, apparently. And we're going to recruit.
big risk here going after this guy instead of. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be a guy that we can utilize fairly well. So let's see how this recruiting thing goes. So a pretty daggum active recruiting class right there. Really big. We get 4 5-stars and 1 4-star. Pretty good haul. Basically doubling our recruiting class from the season. And I'm really, really excited to see where we ended up in the recruiting rankings. So how about a top 5 class for the Toledo Rockets? 5 5-stars, 6 4-stars, and then some scrum recruits that the computer picked up for us at positions that it feels like that we need. But, I mean, just really, really look at the meat and bones here of this recruiting class. A lot of talented receivers, a pretty serviceable quarterback, and then a nice running back. We get a lot of offensive firepower in this class, but also we get a base in that defensive defensive backfield. I mean, and that's going to be huge for us. I'm going to position changes now, and we're going to solidify this recruiting class and this team, and probably one of the best first recruiting classes that I've had, even though that we've struggled this season greatly. A top 5 class with 5 5-stars. I don't think that I've done that with a team before. I've gotten a lot of teams in the top 5 with like 4 stars, some 3 stars, but never in my life with 5 5-stars in the first year of recruiting. And you could already see just how good these guys are compared to the players that we have had. Big time. Let's go. I'm pretty pumped right now. And this guy right here is going to be a big timer. He can play basically anywhere on the defensive side of the ball. 6'5", 259. It's like, what do you want? You want a linebacker? Or, I mean, Jesus Christ. That's just insane. Man, I mean, just that's huge. That's big money right there. Got a big transfer in from another school, so middle linebacker is set, but you know what's not? It's right outside linebacker. And then, of course, there's the defensive tackle position, which could use some beef.
Oh man, I mean that's just perfect. You literally get whatever you want out of this guy, and it's just there's so many needs. It's like where do I want to put him? Where, oh, where, oh, where? And I want to put him at right outside linebacker. Golly, that's incredible. That's a huge hit. That's so big right there. That's money. Free safety. This guy's a wide receiver all the way. Yeah, so boom. I mean, just absolutely huge first class. You see the quarterback is already one of the best quarterbacks that we're going to have. The running back is already one of the best running backs that we're going to have. Although that may change with the way that, of course, everything goes there. But still, two big wide receivers in this class. A tight end who could start tomorrow. I mean, a really, really good first recruiting class for this team. Really happy with how it turned out. It was very much a struggle, but we got there. And yeah, so move over one of these guys to center. Fanning out our offensive lineman is key here. Same with our defensive lineman. Two big outside linebackers. We got a couple middle linebackers that are pretty good. Feel pretty good about them. Get a big time corner, and this team's going to be pretty solid. If I can get a couple more defensive backs in here, yeah, that's going to be a pretty solid team all the way through. Got a big time strong safety. Got a free safety right there. I mean, a lot of good things coming. A lot of good things coming. So, and we're going to advance to training results. Let's take a look at these training results. And you can see here, pretty rough, but here's the shining light in everything, is that these are just the guys that are already on the team. These don't include our new guys. And when those guys go through training, look out. Absolutely look out, because this team is going to be dynamite. Here we go. See all these seniors and junior red shirts, and then boom, ready for a long list of freshmen. Good stuff. Good shit. Yes, sir. Man, I'm just so psyched right now. Oh man, I'm so freaking pumped, man. These guys are this is gonna be a good team here in a couple years. Good team. I mean, he's gonna be a starting running back after this year, probably. Oh man, I mean, just look at this, the talent everywhere, man. Talent is everywhere. Good grief. Yes,
Yes, sir. That's all the cuts we need to make. And just like that, year one has come to an end, and the Toledo Rockets are looking like a team that could be contenders in a couple of years, not just in the Mid-American Conference, but possibly nationally. A good team, good solid team with a lot of talent. So we'll start the next year two video here in just a moment. Again, we're just doing the sim thing again. I appreciate everybody for joining along, and I hope you enjoy this. We're going to keep doing this stuff. I think it's fun. I like recruiting a lot, so see you guys next time.